So, good evening, Reds, and welcome to Haste TV. In this week's show, I'm joined by our new striker, Jack Coop. Jack, welcome to the show. It's great to speak to you. Just how are you feeling at the minute?
How are you, mate? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Just plodding on.
Obviously, it's a sad situation how the season has ended rather abruptly. We came into some decent form before the confirmation was made by the Northwest Counties League that the season has officially ended.
Yeah, it was a bit premature, wasn't it? Not what we needed, but these things happen outside of football. There's not much you can do about it, really. Just have to hope it all blows over. We can get going again next season.
So obviously, it's your second time round to Hayes just this season. Scoring on your
It
debut against St Helens Town, that was a great start for you in a red shirt.
It was something I obviously didn't manage to do last time. Whether it were right for me to come at that point last time when I did, I don't think so. But Matt's asked me back in this time, and I felt it were right to come back this time. I mean, the season at Main Road, we wasn't really going anywhere. We knocked out of a few cups, and we were mid-table, not doing anything. And obviously, I'd seen what Matt had done with Hayes and that, and I just thought I've got to go back. I know a few lads there, so I thought, why not go back and give it another try? And it started well in that first game. I mean, we won, and I managed to get on the goal sheet, which is what you want as a striker on your first game. So yeah, it started well.
Yeah, so just talk us through the goal. I mean, it typifies your game really. A fantastic ball into the box from James Dwyer. Right, you just let the ball run onto you and turn the defender away, and then just lashed it into the back of the net. That's sort of what you've been doing the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, I just seen he got on it. I thought I'd make a run, and he's managed to pick me out. Whether he'll be able to do it again or not, I don't know. But no, yeah, he just sat up right, and I smacked it as hard as I could, and off we went, 3-1. Happy days.
So obviously, we've said it's disappointing how the season's ended. It's 2 pretty short spells now you've had with the club this season, playing 3 games last year, and then obviously coming to us and playing what 3 or 4 games this year and getting on the score sheet. So I know it's been a short spell, but just how would you sum up your experience at Hayes so far the second time round?
Yeah, I mean, this time, obviously it was a bit better this time. I knew a few of the lads there already who I'd spoken to, and it were a lot different this time. I mean, last time it were nothing personal. It just didn't work out for me, and that them things happen in football. But this time, obviously, it was easier going back knowing a few of the lads, and it were like I've been there before. It didn't feel like I were new. I mean, like I say, it's obviously easier when you do know people there anyway. But no, we just got straight down to it, and obviously it were going well until we now can't play anymore.
Yeah, so obviously the games you've been involved in, we talked about St Helens game. There was that game against Bamber Bridge in the semi final of the cup. They just showed the class, didn't they? I mean, I think in the first half when they were 5-0 up, I think they had 6 chances and scored 5 goals. That's just how clinical they were in front of goal. I know you weren't getting a lot of the ball because of the. I think every time you got the ball, they knew you were a danger man because they got 3-4. You had 3-4 players around you every time you picked up the ball.
Yeah, I mean, what a side they were, to be fair. I mean, I think we could play them again and they'd probably beat us 9-0 again. They were that good. But yeah, you get games like that, don't you? I mean, it was a tall order us going into it. And I mean, from that, personally, you've just got to try and take away the positives. I mean, not that there is any getting beat 9-0 like, but they were just a good team. And sometimes you just got to hold your hands up, haven't you? And there's not much you can do, really.
I think sometimes it's good to see what it's like. Obviously, if we did get promoted up to the Northern Premier League, what the standard is like, because they're the sort of games you can get in that standard. You can have a midfield battle, you can get 1 chance in a game, you need to take it. That's the sort of football that's played at that level. You don't really get many opportunities in a game. But as I say, we moved on to Embley. A disappointing result at Embley, which obviously, unfortunately, you missed the penalty, which
I did.
Could have potentially been a turning point in the game, but we can't really talk too much into the penalty miss or whether you'd have scored it. We lost 4-1 at the end of the day, so it's not really dependent on that. But obviously, ending the season now where we're a 5-3 win Cleatham or Celtic the game after that. Just talk us through the last couple of games.
Well, going back to the Emily game, I mean, if I could score from 12 yards out, which to be fair is the first penalty I've missed on that, but it's one of them. I mean, Jeremy Hill gives them a great free ball for their first goal, and there's nothing we can do about that. And then obviously I missed that penalty, and if it goes in, I mean, it is a game of what ifs then, isn't it? Like if it goes in, we're on the front foot, we go in 1-1, or we might even nick it and go in 2-1. But to make it worse, the keeper throws it out and they go and put the ball in our net. So it hit you twice really. Not only have you missed the pen, but you've gone 2 goals down straight away. Then I mean, it wasn't my finest moment on a football pitch in general. Never mind just at Hayes, but yeah. And then from there, it just carried on going downhill. I mean, we had the chat at half time. Could we have gone out there and done any different? We just didn't take the chances that we had, and we had more of the ball, but it's pointless if you don't do anything with it. And they scored 4 goals with what possession they had, and they obviously won the game. And then, I mean, Cleatham was obviously, we've had 2 bad results, and then we want to get back, back onto a good run of form. And obviously, travelling 3.5 hours on a coach isn't a journey back you want to do without the 3 points. It could be tedious. So we all knew we had a job to do, and obviously, Will were on fire that game, and Greg got a goal. He's won a season, and Nathan scored a fleeky free kick. So we've done well, and we did our job. Shipped a few goals again, so that I think that might be something we need to rein in a bit for next season. But I'm sure Matt will sort that in pre-season. But we grinded it out in the end and managed to nick one in last minute to make it look easier than it was.
Yeah, let's just talk about, obviously you've contributed this season as an individual. Obviously 26 league goals and three cup goals. So that's probably it has been your best season in terms of finding the net, hasn't it? Just obviously it'd be very easy as well not to settle into a side. You play for 3 sides this season, so it's like you've not found it difficult to make that switch to a new team and struggle to settle in. You've settled in instantaneously, and if you just look at how many goals you've scored, you must be really pleased with the way you've played this season.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I am happy with my season. Obviously, a few different clubs there, you make me sound like I get about. But no, I mean, at Nelson, I mean, I started there. I spoke to Andy, through the summer, and he made it sound like a right good do, and I thought it was something I should try. And obviously, that was the first time at this level I'd moved away from obviously being under Matt. So I mean, it was something I wanted to try and do. And I went there, I had a good pre-season there. It's a good changing room there. The lads were good. We had a few decent results, and then, Joffy come and offered me a 7-day on me and asked me to go to Hayes. I spoke to him, I weren't sure, and, I just thought, do I don't. In the end, I ended up doing, and whether I don't think it was the right move for me at the time, to be honest. I don't think I should have left Nelson, but then if I didn't leave Nelson, I wouldn't have ended up at Main Road, and I think that's the best thing that could have happened to me this season, to be honest. I'd not had the best start, if you will. I was all right at Nelson. I think I scored 6 or something in 7. And then I didn't score at all for Hayes. I were quite poor, to be quite honest. It weren't even like I had a decent game, but and then I was thinking I weren't bothering or nothing, and then I ended up doing a few Saturdays at work, and I thought I'd just do that. And then Huey at Main Road said, just come down. There's no pressure to play there or anything, So I ended up going down watching a game, and I ended up speaking to Ray, and he just said, you fit right in. And obviously, Jamie Hill were there, and I just thought, yes. So, I mean, I went and played there, and yes, I scored 22, I think, for them in 23 or 24 games or something. So, I played some of my best football there, definitely in front of net anyway. So, yeah, I think that was the best thing that could have happened to me this season. We did well. We had a decent cup run. We climbed up the table, and then it just we got beat off 1874, and we put a good account of ourselves. But that's when at Boxing Day, I think Matt asked me if I'd join, and I just weren't ready to leave Main Road yet. I was happy there. I was scoring. I just didn't see a need to leave, and then our form started dipping. A few lads started leaving, to find other clubs, and then he asked me again. He said, what's it going to take you in? I just got fed up of him nagging me, to be fair. So I thought after the 1874 game, I'll see what's what. If we'd have won, obviously I'd have stayed at Main Road. I had a semi-final to play, but if not, we'd talk. And then I come down to watch him against Garstang, I think, and then had a chat with him, Dickel and Cookie afterwards, and then we sorted it out, and there I am now.
It was a fantastic start to life at Main Road. I mean, it was actually 7 goals in your first 5 games, scoring 2 goals on your debut, and scoring 7 in 5, like I said there. But the way the season started off at Nelson, you actually scored against Prestwich Hayes and got man of the match in just the second game of the season, which is...
Yeah, we beat them 2-0, I think.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, to be fair, they absolutely battered us, but we scored 2 and they didn't, so
that's how football works, though, isn't it? That's just how the game is.
Is.
Yeah, but you must have been so impressed. Like, how did you settle into a team so quickly like you did at Main Road? Do you think it was the way, obviously the way the gaffer and the lads were with you, or is it just how you felt on the day? Because to score 7 in your first 5 games is ridiculous, and you must have felt comfortable and confident.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I knew the manager and assistant, so they knew what they were getting, right? So I mean, there's a bit of pressure eased off there, I think. And then I mean, all Hughie had said to me is, we can't score, we just need someone to score. So it weren't like I were going there and having to create my own chances. I mean, obviously Jamie Hill were there, and I think he assisted 6 of them 7, I think. So
yeah.
I instantly straight away, me and him are just, we hit the ground running really. And yeah, I mean, the lads are all sound there. There's not really a bad egg in there, but it's just football, innit? I mean, sometimes you hit the ground running and sometimes you don't. So yeah, I managed to do that at Main Road. Scored a good few goals and carried on scoring, to be fair. I don't think I only went a game at a time without scoring. So yeah, it's done me well going there this year, to be fair. I mean, obviously I was hoping to carry on where I left off at Main Road, but, didn't really get the chance. I mean, scored against St Helens, like you say, and then didn't really have a sniff against Bamber Bridge, and then I go and miss a penalty in the 3rd game, and Cleatamore, I think I had a chance or 2, but, that were a game for Will, that game, wasn't it? So that's just the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, so obviously you joined Prestwich Hayes the second time around, and it was very quickly how you came into the squad. I think you signed on the Friday, and then you started on the Saturday at 3:00, and obviously got on the score sheet that day. Just how did the move come about? Obviously, you mentioned Matt was nagging you to come. Just how was it to get the deal over the line, and obviously join the club for the second time, and just how different did it feel the second time around from the first time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I spoke to Matt, a few times about it. I weren't sure about leaving Main Road, and he kept telling me, a lot's changed since you were last here, and it has, to be fair. I mean, as soon as you walk in, you could just tell the difference, but there's a lot of different players, and like I say, a good few of my mates are there now, so it was easy in that sense to come back. I mean, I think it were obviously Main Road. We had to wait the 7 days, and then I went training the first time on the Thursday. I think the 7 days had finished on that Thursday, I think. And then obviously just managed to get the form signed in time to play on the Saturday. And then, we were there at St Helens. So, yeah, it was quite a short one, but, it's got to be done, hasn't it?
And it is such a young group, but a group that works very hard, and the team spirit is often mentioned at Hayes because it is fantastic. There's banter flying around left, right, and centre. All the lads get on with each other. I mentioned the majority of the players have played with each other at some point. I mean, there's a fair few of you played at Barnoldswick Town. There's a couple of you from Main Road. So obviously Matt's managed different sides, and you've played under Matt a few times. But everyone gets on with each other perfectly. But the work rate, it has to be said. I've never known a club like it, where they just work so hard. Even if you don't win a game of football, the fans are going home happy because you've worked your asses off, and that's what Matt wants. He wants that 110% work rate, and if you're not prepared to do it, then you won't play, and that's his philosophy, and that's just the way Matt works, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, everyone will tell you my work rate is up there with the best of them. I just don't stop running. But no, I mean, yeah, the lads want to, obviously help each other. As soon as you get across, the white line, you're there to win a football game, and you've got to do, what it takes to win it. So obviously, it's a big part of the game is obviously teamwork and your commitment. I mean, to win the ball back. So I mean, the lads know, we know what we need to do, and you've got to work for each other. It's like Nathan said. I mean, I think he was on about the St. Helens game. I mean, he played the ball into me. I took a lazy touch. They nicked it off me, and the next thing Nathan was going apeshit. So you need a lot of that as well. You do need people to put yourself in your places, and there are a few lads, that will be more than happy to do it. So yeah, it's got to be done, and you need to do what you need to do to win the game, and it's a big part of it.
I've mentioned about you playing for 3 teams this season, but it's not affected your goal tally moving from team to team. But obviously, since Matt's come in, he came in as a joint manager firstly, and then he got the job I think it was January when he got the job officially. So there's lots of players come in, lots of players gone out. There's been a bit of disruption in that sense. So is that where you think the inconsistencies have come over the season? And next year, if we can keep the same sort of squad we've got now and add to it, then consistency will come with that because the players will get used to each other, and obviously the work ethic that Matt and the coaching staff are trying to implement. That's surely going to be a more consistent season next season, you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think next season, if he keeps everyone who's already at the club, I mean, there's not a bad player in the dressing room. So I think if he could just, add 1 or 2 where, they'll, competition will be up there. No one wants to have a poor game. Then I think we could be on for something good next year. I mean, this season, I think, Hayes are always, I think, in the mix to go up. Obviously never done it yet, and I think next year, I think that this year, to be fair, is a big ask. I think, you need to win your 9 games, and then you're looking for results in your favour as well. So, I think it would, obviously you can never rule it out, but, it was against us, but, it were a challenge that we're more than happy to do. But, yeah, I mean, next season, if knowing that he'll bring 1 or 2 in summer, and hopefully he'll, bring the right players in, and then next year, if, like you say, we can just have that bit of consistency where, players aren't in and out the door, and obviously your managers don't change, hopefully we'll have a good run of it, and who knows what we can do.
Yeah, it's just about finding that stability. I mean, the longer that the players get used to each other, the more they'll get used to your own surroundings, don't you? And some players feel more comfortable than others on the pitch. But as you say, it's about leadership qualities. When you see a player not performing, it's not like you're having a go at them because you don't like them. It's because you know just how well they can play, and you just want them to maximise that potential. And there's so many attacking options as well, Jack. Obviously, we mentioned Will Shawcross there. He's in some fine form, scoring a hat-trick in the last game we played, and he scored a brace against St. Helens. But not just Will. There's obviously James Dwyer. There's Reece Linden, who's coming back from injury. Brad Sixsmith holds the midfield together very well. Joe Rothwell has played at a much higher level than we're playing at the minute. And those individual qualities can only help the team, I think.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you've got to have them kind of players that, that can change a game. I mean, you've got Dwyer in midfield who can just find you that one ball. And, you might be having games where, you're struggling to have a lot of the ball, and you just need to take the one chance you get. So, yeah, you need players like that. I mean, we all know what Will can do, when he wants to do it, as we've seen at Clayton Moore, So, yeah, you need them type of players. I mean, Jamie Hill, what a player he is. He'll get you up the pitch. He'll find you in the box. Sometimes he'll find the corner flag, but 9 times out of 10, he'll find you in a game. So we we have got them kind of players, and I think as well as working hard and being able to work as a team, you do need the one or two players that will create you something. I mean,
I think it's great that we've got so many leaders in the side. Obviously, we've joked and laughed about Dan Vincent and his craziness, but he is a real voice in the dressing room, much like Reece Linden is. If you've come off, if you've come off at half time with a terrible performance, and the lads will let you know, and it's up to those. But it's not just the manager and the coaching staff that are there to bark orders at you. It's the duty of the players as well to pick each other up and fight for each other and just generally help each other on the pitch. And it's not always nice, but it gets you through a game and it really does help you develop as a player.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's nothing personal, is it? And I think if someone does take it personal, they're in the wrong sport. They want to try cooking or something. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got to have them players. That'll tell you. I mean, I need telling more. Many times a game because I can wonder and my mind goes in there and I do need to be told. So I mean, at the Emily game at half time, I mean, obviously no one were happy with the result and how it were going, and Jacob did his job, give us a bollocking, and we did play well again in that second half, but and everyone reacted to him, but obviously the result didn't go for us. But yeah, you've got to do it, haven't you? I mean, like Nathan said, he'll have a go at someone because he wants better and not, it's nothing personal. And as soon as you go off the pitch and you're in a clubhouse having a pint, you forget about it,
So obviously from the outside, Jack, coming in as a striker, there's so many different strikers at the club, but all bring something different. I mean, Reece Linden likes to hold the ball up and bring other people in. You like to run at players and have a lash of a shot from distance. And obviously, Will Shawcross, he's not the biggest lad in the world, but he's got a hell of a shot on him. He's scored plenty of goals in the last couple of games. So your competition is if like, I've got to play really well, otherwise I'll lose my spot. There's so many different options depending on how Matt wants to play and who the opposition is.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a few ways you can play that. I mean, Reece is a lot different to me. He'll give you things that I can't give. He's better at holding the ball up, winning headers, bringing others into play. So, there might be games, he's more suited than me, or there's times that, we're suited to play together. You've got Fran as well, who can put the ball in that, just as much as me. I mean, we've seen what Will can do. I mean, I think he got 5 in 3, I think, is it, in what I've played or something.
Yeah.
So he knows where the net is. I mean, we can't look to Jamie Hill for goals because he don't know where the net is. But no, I mean, he'll find the net again, and then when he does, you need to have 3 or 4 people being able to put the ball in the net, not just one. So I think it's a lot easier from that, where he knows he can go to a handful of players who'll be able to find the goals for him.
And I think obviously we spoke about Matt and your relationship with him and how he first came to Hayes. Obviously, he came out with a plan to assemble a squad of players they'd be reasonably happy with. Do you think that Matt's close to assembling the type of squad that he wanted when he first came to the club?
Yeah, well, I think a few left, and obviously he brought a few in, and then since then he's added to it. So I think to be honest, it's hard in a season while you're playing to attract the kind of players that you might want. I don't think he needs to get rid of anyone. I think he just needs to add 1 or 2 that that'll just make us that bit better, where we might be a bit stronger on bench and a bit stronger as a squad. But again, I think you need that if you are going to try and push on in the season to win things. You're not just going to win things off having 13 good players. You need a big squad. So that there'll be players not there sometimes. So yeah, I mean, I think personally, I think he needs to add 1 or 2, maybe even 3, and then I think we'll have a right good kick on then for next season. Get the pre-season out of the way. Do it as a squad. Do it in the right way, and then I think we'll be able to push on then and have a bit of confidence going into the season.
I think it's a great story as well how when Matt first got the job, he took no prisoners. Obviously, we've lost a few games prior to him taking over. He made 6 changes in his first game. Half the lads didn't know each other. And the way the team gelled and the team spirit and everyone just got together in that game. I think it was against Steaton away, and just the way the lads came together and held their own, and the team spirit, the dressing room is absolutely balanced. Just talk us through obviously mentioned the banter and just the way the players get on with each other, and it's such a tight unit.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's probably one of the best changing rooms that I've been in. To be fair, I mean, main row was a lot quieter to what Hayes is. You got the likes of Dan who never shuts up. Sinnett's one of the funniest guys I've ever met. And they're always at it. They're always on the go. But as well, I think you need that. I mean, you can't be getting to a game and there's no one trying to take the piss out of you or get someone off you. So you do need that. And then it's like they all say, as soon as you cross the line, you've got your job to do. But I think it makes it that bit easier when you're on the pitch if you are quite a tight-knit group off it, because you do want to go the extra for your teammates. So I think he's got that there. And I mean, obviously I weren't there in the Steaton game, but they said about the togetherness they showed in that game, and they've obviously took that forward, brought it through, and hopefully if he adds the right kind of people to it and everyone stays, we'll be well on our way for next season.
Right, Jack Coop, it was fantastic to speak to you today on Hayes TV. Obviously, it's great to speak to you. It's a long time now, obviously, till pre-season starts. We don't know what's going to be going on with if or when the season's going to get underway. No. But it's not a good time, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it as a team and on to next season.
It is, mate. I mean, the way I'm going, I'll need a heavy pre-season, but it is what it is.